What's up everyone? Welcome to Essential Style. 8 grooming hacks that you can implement today to look better than 99% of other guys out there. Let's get right into it. So the first hack has to do with the hair on top and on the sides of your heads. Make sure you have a nice, good, clean haircut that you love. Now I like the short on the sides, long on the top, kind of like an undercut. I also like a bit of a beard. I find that this style tends to elongate my face and doesn't make my face look as round as if I had more hair on the sides of my head. So choosing a style that'll actually elongate your face, maybe growing a beard a little bit longer, or making sure you keep it super short on the sides and the back and maybe a little bit longer on top is going to be a great way to make your face appear more angular and more long versus a round face. And a round face is not going to make you look as slim as if you had a more structured, longer, angular face. The second hack is going to be make sure you clean up the hairline around your ears. Now for this one, I am going to have to lose the glasses. And I will actually show you. I have a Norelco beard trimmer. This thing's gonna be linked in the description. And what I typically do is I just turn it on. Okay, so you see right here, see after I did that, there's really no hair growing, touching my ear on this side. On this side, we're pretty good too. This is something that I would do if I were you. Every 2 or 3 days, it's very easy to do. You don't need any mirrors. All you need is a Norelco beard trimmer. Odds are you probably already have a beard trimmer if you have a beard, but most of us have beards already. So this is something that's definitely easy for you to do that can help you looking just that little bit better. And now speaking of the hair around here, the hairline in the back of your head is also important as well. This is something else that I used to see a lot. I used to see guys, the hair over here just kind of starts to grow down here, starts to grow down into the neckline, it starts to grow over here. You really want to make sure, again, if you have a clean cut hairstyle like I do, you want to make sure that this is nice and clean and it's not starting to overgrow. So the way that I do this is I actually use a mirror like this. And again, we use the same, but now we don't use any of the attachments. This is just the bare metal. One side done. Hard to see in this small screen, but take a look. See how nice and defined that line is? Again, you don't have to do this every single day. I would say do it every 3 or 4 days. It's easy enough to check. What I typically do is I cut my own hair. I do it every 2 or 3 weeks. I don't go more than 3 weeks. I like to do it every 2 weeks. But once I start getting closer to that 2-week threshold or that 2-week mark of needing to go ahead and cut my hair again, I do start to pay a little bit more attention of the hairline around my ears and the back of my neck. Because I used to see a lot of guys where their haircut was actually nice, but you could see it just kind of overgrows. And yes, this is not as easy as just looking right here and just trimming over here or trimming your beard. It does require a mirror. It does require a Norelco or your choice beard trimmer. However, once you learn to do it, it's actually pretty easy. And again, it's these small steps that we can take to make ourselves look better than most of the other people out there. Now, tip number 5 is going to be keep your nose hairs intact. So I actually do this every couple of days because I find that if I don't trim my nose hairs, I have more boogers and snot in my nose, which is pretty gross. So I typically, again, I just go through here, right there, just a little bit. Make sure I get it nice in there. And now that's going to be a lot better and a lot easier for me to keep my nose clean, especially since I'm 6 feet tall. If I'm talking to someone that's a bit shorter than me, it's very easy for them to look up my nose and see a not clean nose. So it's something that I really make sure that I do, just because if I don't start to trim my nose hairs on the regular, I eventually have a lot more of a buildup in my nose and it just does not look good. So definitely make sure you keep your nose clean. I would say definitely trim your nose hairs. Just be careful. Don't put too much pressure. It's actually pretty easy to do. It doesn't hurt. Do it at your own risk, of course, but this is definitely something that helps keeping your nose clean. And our next hack is going to be keep your ears hair-free and keep them clean. I'd recommend using something like Q-tips just to go in there nice and easy. And also, if you do have any ear hair, what you're gonna wanna do is just take the beard trimmer and just go in there nice and easy. Same way you did with your nose hairs, with your nostrils. Nice and easy. Just give a nice little clean cut. keep your ears looking nice, fresh, and clean, and it's definitely something you don't want to have dirty ears or hairy ears. You're not going to look better than your competition, other guys out there. So definitely keep them hair-free, keep them clean if you want to look better than most other guys out there. Put these back on so you actually recognize me. I find a lot of people don't even recognize me without glasses anymore. All right, the next tip actually has to do with a mustache. If you're rocking a full beard like me and you actually do have a mustache, you are going to want to keep the hair around your lips and underneath your nose. You are going to want to keep these actually nice and clean, nice and defined. So I typically just go really just the hair around your upper lip. You want to make sure that it's not going into your mouth, because not only is it going to be annoying, it's also not going to look as clean. And also what I do too is I clean it up here as well. So just keep the lines of your mustache nice and clean and defined, and even keep the hair from here. You want to prevent it from going into your lips or covering your lips, just because it's going to give a much more clean aesthetic. Now, just like we talked about the mustache, keeping the lines nice, clean, and defined, same thing goes if you got a full beard like me. So, for example, your neckline should be nice, cleanly defined. Right? You want to make sure it's not too high. You want to make sure it's low enough, but you also want to make sure that you're cleanly defining it and not getting your neck hairs, your neck beard too long. So everyone's probably seen this. You take your finger, you go like that. That's where your beard line should be. You don't have to get it too super exact, but you want to make sure you're actually cleaning that up. Now, I typically don't clean up here because my beard doesn't start to grow too high, but I have seen some guys where their beard hair or their facial hair starts to grow up almost close to their eyes. You want to make sure you're actually cleaning these lines up as well. Now again, for me, I typically don't have to do that just because my beard doesn't grow that high. I'm more lucky in that way. But you want to make sure you keep your beard nice and cleanly defined and maintained. That way it's still going to look neat and clean while also making you look like a boss. And now for the eighth and final grooming hack is going to be, make sure you pick a length for your beard that is easy to maintain, is going to look the best with the least amount of effort. I used to have a very long beard around 2020. I think I grew it all the way down to here. While it was fun and it was cool to have such a long beard, I found it was very, very hard to maintain. I had to use beard oil all the time. It made my hands very oily every time I touched my ear. Eventually I trimmed it, and now I pretty much keep it like this. I trim it with the number 7 attachment on the Norelco, maybe like every couple of days. I don't go longer than a week without trimming it, just because I like to keep it clean and easy to maintain. But definitely make sure that if you have a long beard, you're still maintaining it, longer than me, that is. Short beards are a bit easier to maintain, but maybe you don't have as thick of a beard and you want to actually grow it out a little bit more. Just make sure that it's still easy to maintain. So that's it. 8 grooming hacks to help you look better than 99% of the other guys out there. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you had fun, and hope you learned something. And as always, appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.